Kia ora everybody, Chris Farhi here from the Bayleys Insights team. In this video, I'll be giving you a quick outline of some findings from a study we did into the price premium for waterfront homes around New Zealand. Now, if you know Bayleys, you'll know that we're passionate about our waterfront properties to the extent that we actually produce this magazine every year covering our portfolio of waterfront homes that's available for sale around New Zealand. Now, of course, with waterfront properties also comes premium prices, and so what we were interested in was to look at what that price premium is for different parts of New Zealand. Now, going to the study, what we did is we took a sample of sales during 2021 across 4 holiday home locations. And so those locations were Paihia, Omaha, Whitianga and Queenstown. And we chose these locations because they're reasonably tightly defined to the extent that we could actually get a pretty good fix on all of the sales in the market and also easily identify different types of waterfront properties. And so talking about the sales, we categorized them into 4 different types. So we had absolute waterfront, we had waterfront, one back, and then we had the non-waterfront sales. And so what we did is we looked at the total price per square metre of land for the sales, and this means that it's picking up both the premium for the land, but also the premium that's attached to the usually better quality homes that sit on the waterfront too. And so here's what we found. First up, we found that there's a massive price premium for absolute waterfront properties. Now, this price premium varies across the submarkets that we looked at, and it ranged from 34% to 125% on average relative to non-waterfront properties. And so that's the average price premium too, and there were a lot of cases where the premium was much more extreme. The next finding was that the price premium varies by submarkets, and if you look at it, it's generally the most competitive submarkets where the premium is highest, and that reflects, I guess, the competition for these absolute waterfront sites. We also found that, as you can imagine, the premium changes as you get away from the waterfront, and so for absolute waterfront properties, they sell at a premium to waterfront, and waterfront at a premium to one back. And this is where things get interesting. So we found that Queenstown is a little bit different. And so within the Queenstown market, and so we're looking primarily around Lake Wakatipu, you'll find that the absolute waterfront properties still retain a big premium, but then the premium becomes less apparent as you get away from the waterfront. And what we think that this is related to is the steep terrain in Queenstown, which means that for properties that are straight on the water, they'll obviously get really nice views over the water, but if you're just back from that, so like one back, you might actually find that your view of the lake is heavily infringed, and whereas properties that are non-waterfront but up in the hills might actually get really stunning views. And so I guess this shows the importance of good quality views and the specifics of the site in achieving those views. And so overall conclusions are pretty much what you'd expect with prices getting higher as you get closer to the water. But the other thing that this has highlighted is the critical importance of views. Absolute waterfront properties typically come with absolutely stunning views, but as you get into waterfront or one back, it becomes much more sensitive to the nature of the views available for your site and also how the house is positioned relative to those views. With that said, if you're passionate about waterfront properties too, then make sure to get a copy of our Bayleys Waterfront magazine, which we'll link in the description. And if you do own a waterfront property and you want to get a sense of how its price might sit relative to other homes in your neighbourhood, then feel welcome to reach out to your local Bayleys agent, who'd be more than happy to help with an appraisal.